Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you joined me on Women in Alcohol. I'm your host, Nancy McKay. I am a certified life coach and I'm a newly minted certified Equus coach. And I couldn't be more excited about that. I am uh, I'm just over the moon, and I've spent the last few weeks really concentrating on my coaching with the horses and some wonderful women who have agreed to be practice clients for me, and it was just the most amazing experience. I think it was amazing for them, and I know it was amazing for me. Uh, I just come alive when I'm out with the horses and with clients, and I couldn't imagine doing something that I love so much. It really, it just really is so cool. It's just so cool. So, that being said, um, I thought I'd open it up for people to send in questions for me, anything that's on your mind, um, really alcohol related or not, anything that comes up for you. So, if there's something that you'd like to talk about, shoot me a comment, and I'll try to keep an eye. And I thought I'd bring up a few things that clients have asked me recently, and some of the clients that I've been working with in the round pen with the horses. So, one of the and I did a podcast interview today, and one of the questions that came up today was about our culture and alcohol in our culture, and because uh, it's so common, it's just so natural for everybody to drink, right? And that is really one of our big issues right now. I think is because it's the norm, and I think people really feel pressured to drink even if they don't want to. And so I think that's something to really consider. And I don't want to get on I don't want to get on my soapbox really about the evils of alcohol, if you will, but um, alcohol is ethanol, and ethanol is used to produce rocket fuel. So essentially, we're drinking poison, and it's something that the alcohol industry is doing now what the tobacco industry did in the 40s and 50s, and that is trying to convince us that there's absolutely nothing wrong with drinking alcohol. There's nothing wrong with drinking um, a lot of alcohol, although there are warning signs on every bottle of alcohol that is sold to drink responsibly. Um, they're they're doing that to um, ward off any sort of legal issue, I would suspect. So um, there's just there's really no safe amount of alcohol that you can drink. One sip of beer, wine, hard liquor will affect your body. It may not be visibly affected, but it is. And so it's just something to consider. We live in an age now of, you know, going sugar free and gluten free and really being careful about what we are eating. But I don't think we're quite as careful about what we are drinking. So just a thought, something to think about. So that was one of the questions that came up today in this podcast. And then one of the other ones was the, Pat asked me if, because we were talking about mindset and the inner voices that we hear in our heads, and as one of my coaches so eloquently put it to me, when we have negative thoughts, it's like a toddler running around in our brains with a butcher knife. And so, and boy, am I familiar with that toddler. Um, so he asked me if I had, um, uh, you know, named my alter egos, right? And of course I have. My negative talk is a lizard because, of course, that's our lizard brain, our reptilian brain. And my lizard is called Lulu, who I have mentioned before. And Lulu likes to tell me everything that's wrong. So if I'm doing something wrong, if I said something stupid, she'll probably comment here shortly on what I'm wearing and how messy my hair is and so on and so forth. And you know, I generally reply to Lulu with, you know, thank you for sharing, but you can go take a nap because, um, you know, I've got this. I'm not going to worry about whatever it is that you are going to go on a rant about. My other alter ego is my badass, my inner badass, and she tells me pretty much the exact opposite of what Lulu tells me. And she tells me that I've got this, that I can trust myself, that I make decisions well, and so on and so forth. So I believe that all of us have two inner alter egos. One is the good guy, one's the bad guy. And so what I do with my clients is I work with them so that they are listening to their inner badass more than they're listening to their inner lizard, and how you can change your thoughts, which change your feelings, and those change your actions and results. So it's very important to have a really strong mindset, and this comes into play anytime you're dealing with a habit or an addictive behavior that you want to change. And so when you are trying to quit drinking or, you know, anything, sugar, gambling, Netflix, right? There's always a thought right before you reach for whatever substance that is, or whatever, the remote or whatever it is. And that thought is generally, I need this, I want this, I gotta have it, something along that line, right? So the question is, can you change that thought? And what we all need to realize is the thoughts create a feeling, and it's the feeling that we also want to change. Because if the thought makes us feel hopeless or desperate or depressed, sad, angry, along that line, then the actions that we take are based on those feelings which come from the thoughts. And then we get a result that we don't want, right? So in order to get a different result, we have to take a different action. And that is based, you know, how do you need to feel in order to take a different action? So you want to feel more content, or, you know, you're probably not going to go from angry to happy in one fell swoop, but you might be neutral. You might feel grateful. That's a really good one, to feel grateful. And then in order to feel grateful, what thought do you have to think? Well, you know, in my case, when I quit drinking, I was really grateful because I was alive. And my suicide attempt was not successful. So I was very grateful about that. And it was that feeling, and also the feeling of what did I almost do, um, that kept me sober. That combined with a lot of other things. But so your mindset is really key anytime you want to change a behavior. Mindset is top top of the list. Some other questions is, um, let's see. Well, why is it difficult for women to admit that they're struggling with alcohol? And I was talking. I was talking to a new client this week. She is full of shame and regret, and is so worried about people judging. And it's just, you know, this came up on the podcast interview today as well. And it's, you know, the I was interviewed by a man today, and so I said, you know, I'm not really sure how men are raised. Um, I know that women, and especially women of my generation, are raised to be seen and not heard. Um, our opinions don't matter. Um, you're not really encouraged to have an opinion, and if you do have an opinion, I don't want to hear it, right? So, so women are brought up differently, and I hope that that has changed, but in my generation, that was pretty much the case. And so we are not used to owning our power. And we are really concerned with what other people think. I am a recovering people pleaser. And so we struggle with what 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 is so and so going to think about us if we admit that we have a problem with alcohol. And that's a huge issue, and one that I hope that my work and by my speaking out will um, help eliminate, because it's it's unnecessary for anyone to feel shameful about the fact that alcohol does not agree with them anymore. You know, and that's really the bottom line. Is it's This is something that is not this is not a character defect, right? This is something that affects our bodies when we ingest it, and there's no moral issue here. Um, and if someone is making you feel like it's a moral issue, then I would take a look at that relationship. So anyway, women struggle because they're so worried about what other people will think, and they're so full of shame, and they're afraid of judgment. So I think that's probably the biggest reason why women struggle with asking for help. And so the other question that came up today was, you know, what do you do? What does someone do who is aware that they have a problem and they're not quite sure what to do? Well, you ask for help, and you hire a coach like me, because I've been there and I've learned what you need to do in order to tackle this huge challenge. And it's something that you know, it's a challenge. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. The truth of the matter is, though, so much of it is mindset, and unless you are really physically addicted, and I know plenty of people who were, and I was one of them. You know, I had a drying out period, and it's but you can change your thoughts about it from being, I can't do this is so hard, to I can do this, and I can not drink or eat a Snickers bar or turn on the television 5 minutes at a time. You know, uh, you can't say I'll never have another drink, candy bar, Big Mac, whatever, for the rest of my life. You can't say that because it is too overwhelming. So you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and you get sober or change your habits one 1 minute at a time, one day at a time. Same thing. So those are some of the more pressing questions that I hear, and I just want to let everyone know that I'm here to help you. It's, I know what it feels like to suddenly, or, you know, kind of not so suddenly, but maybe gradually coming to the awareness that there's something that you're doing that isn't healthy, or you want to change a behavior. And you know we're in a weird time, and people are using alcohol more to cope with this pandemic, and it's becoming I think it's becoming a problem for more and more people, because I'm hearing from more and more people. So if you're having an issue, if you are coming to the realization that you are coping with all of this or with something else in an unhealthy way, reach out to me, and I would love to talk to you. So, I'm just here to, share my experience and my expertise and my training. And if you're in the Denver area, let's go play with the horses. There is nothing better than going out and connecting with a horse that will cut through the bullshit in your brain faster than working with a horse. I will tell you that right now. And one of my clients last week said, I got more out of the session with you and the horses than I have in 4 months of therapy. So that's a pretty nice endorsement, and I really appreciated this woman sharing this with me, and it was just, it touched my heart, and it fed my soul, and all the things that my old corporate job didn't do for me. So, reach out and let's go play with the horses. So you can reach me, send me an email at nancy@amazingoutlookcoaching.com, or visit my website and hit the connect button, and that's www.amazingoutlookcoaching.com. So I think that's enough out of me. Oh yeah, we've almost gone 20 minutes here today. So you guys have a nice evening, and we'll catch you next week. I have a wonderful guest lined up, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Talk to you later. Bye.